Next, I would like to model in this vase, and I think I'm going to go for this shape, this kind of shape. It's a very simple shape. We are going to model this from spline by using any of our viewport. And remember, we have to eyeball it, guess the scale first, what could possibly the scale of this object. And for that, what I usually like to do is just get a measuring box, and if I change my unit setup to feet and inches, I can see that this vase could be probably, yeah, 1 foot is fine. 12 by 12 inches by 12, not 12. I'm going to increase the height a little bit. Now, and then I am going to go to my object properties and display as box, and right click on these spinners to zero them out, in the world center. Now this box, I can use it as a guide, like as a measuring unit, a scale. You can call it a scale as well. I'm going to freeze this box by going to object properties and clicking on freeze and click on OK. Now that this object is frozen, I can also do that by using the right click and freeze selection as well, which I forgot because I'm talking and recording and modeling at the same time. I'm going to my right view. You can go to any views. I think I'm going to go with my uh, front side and just, you know, click a line here, a line here, and a line here, and possibly right click to end. And the next thing would be to apply a lathe modifier, which we did not set up here because we did not set up our spline and spline modifiers. I'm going to click on the axis and center these out, and go into my perspective viewport and see. I'm going to click on this weld core. I'm going to show the edges, and this vertex was not on the world center. Now it's in the world center. Now I think I'm going to smooth out this model. If I turn off the show end result, I think for recording purpose sake, I'm going to switch this to front viewport and click on these corners and right click and have them Bezier, and just smooth out the arcs here. This is looking, I think, a little bit sharp in this corner. Besides the smoothing group problem, I think this is looking great. And remember what I've said, the back face culling of the object. We can try increasing the segments. What happens if I go to my interpolation and drag it over here and turn off the optimize? Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Nice even quads, and at the end we can put a shell modifier on top. I don't want the outer amount, I want the inner amount. This modifier comes in with a lot of features packed. For this simplistic sake, I think I'm going to go with the max's modifier, like just a simple max modifier, shell modifier. Zero out this, and inner amount should be zero point 0.2. Let me change the unit system back to see in centimeter. 0.3 centimeter should be good. Now I think I'm going to smooth out the arc a little bit more, because I think that it's not looking that great, because it should be a little bit more curved. And I think I'm going to go with the Bezier corner on this side as well. We remember we don't have to make the model this perfect, but it's a good idea to, keep the proportions as much as we can by taking our time. And I don't like this edge. I can try to remove this, by hitting the control and backspace key. And let me just move this edge a little bit back. I can constrain this edge, just move it a little bit back. And there you go. And we can put turbo smooth modifier on top. Now this is looking, I think, much closer to what the reference is, except the top of this is, I think, a little bit big. And I think that the overall height of this model is a little bit big, from the bottom and from the top as well. Let's see if we try to, scale this model. But first we need to zero out the pivot point. Scale it a little bit like this way, and it's looking a lot better. Remember, we are not going to go with the 100%, you know and I am going to adjust the pivot to the world 0 position. Now if I scroll through these references and look at my composition, I think the next thing would be to merge all of these models into our scene and place these models in the composition. Next, I'm going to create this brand new scene and I am going to merge all of those assets like the vase on table. Click on OK, and if I press Z, and if I press Z, I can zoom extend to here, right click, merge our 3D assets like the vase. Now I am going to replace all of these objects with the ones that I've just modeled. Alt Q to isolate, and what was the size of this table? If I go to my unit setup and to fit 6, and yeah, this was small table. We've modeled this. I think we have to scale this model to fit our. I just want to move the pivot to the bottom of this table so that I can scale it up evenly. I think the best approach would be to attach these models and then just adjust the vertices to this, table's position, and exit the isolation mode and just go into vertices and just, you know, rearrange these vertices. Delete this table, we don't need it anymore. And I'm just gonna go into my viewport configuration tab, 66.6 and then 0, 0 and then 66.6. Turn on action safe and title safe so that I can see my composition via the rule of thirds. Although this we did not set up the composition by using rule of thirds. Now the next thing would be to replace this picture frame with this one. So I'm going to just click on this tag tool and just move this picture frame to roughly where our location of this, and then move this face. I can turn on angle snap and just rotate it like this and roughly place it over here, and then delete the teapot and delete the placeholder for the picture frame. And I am going to put the edit poly on top and possibly rearrange my picture frame. Turn off the ribbon because we don't need it anymore. I think I'm going to open up the image comp helper script to better see our composition, and I am going to save this file vase on table and do an incremental save. Just drag and drop this image comp helper script and look at my composition. I can right click to shuffle the direction of the composition. I think I'm just going to move my camera a little bit around to this side and look at my composition. Now this is looking much better. Move the picture frame back. I just turned off the action safe and title safe because it was, you know, messing up. It was showing duplicated composition lines. This is good. I think now it's working really well. So next, look at our tasks, and the model of the vase is done. That means that this task is done, and I am going to click on this green checkbox so the task is done. And our progress for today is pretty good. You can see that we have modeled the vase and modeled this table and chair. So see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.